So I have received a couple of consultations over the past week from students who were working for these companies that have been flagged as fraudulent. This is kind of a theme. It comes up generally over the holidays or over the summer because this is when everyone is traveling and getting their new visa stamps or their visa stamp renewals. And unfortunately, this seems to still be a big issue for people who were working in the US far more than 5 years ago now, from 2014, 15, 16, 17. And even though they've been working in the US on valid status for a very long time since then, the consulates are still kind of going back in the records and saying if they had any affiliation with these companies at all without looking in to see what that affiliation was, how long it was, what the circumstances were. The consulate seems to be kind of auto flagging their applications for fraud or misrepresentation. And so when the person goes in for their interview expecting that their H-1B visa will be renewed, consular officers will sometimes just say it's denied or it's placed in administrative processing and then focus the whole interview on asking questions about that prior affiliation. Just as a reminder and for context, most of these people did not knowingly or intentionally engage in any kind of fraud or any kind of sketchy arrangement. They were just trying to get their first job out of school. They had no job experience. They had no idea how the job market worked. And there's this prevailing narrative that it's all their fault. And it's not. If you take a student who hears about an interesting job opportunity that will open doors for them and give them all the training they need for a very small fee of $200, and that they will have people kind of advocating for them in the workplace and in the job market, of course they're going to take that opportunity. Now jobs have been offered over social media for a while, so now we know that most of these arrangements are scams or fraud. But back in 2014, 15, 16, this was a new thing. And so it sounded exciting and a lot of people took advantage of it. Now there's quick realization that these aren't actually all that they were worked up to be. So most of these students then did take a regular job a few months after joining these fraudulent companies. But by then everything is on their record. So it's very hard for the consular officer to see that on the record and approve the case, even though the consular officer has no idea what happened. So yeah, I feel bad for a lot of these students. I definitely do assist in working with the consulate to try and figure out or try to convince them that there's no misrepresentation or fraud involved. It does have mixed results though, because you're really relying on consular discretion. And unfortunately, the consulates make their own decisions and go whatever way they want without much review. So yeah, that came up in consultations this week.